News 4 continuing to bring you live coverage of this bitter blast. We have team coverage tonight with reporters and meteorologists across the area and across the state. News 4 San Antonio's Phil Sterling is in Bexar County. But first, Chief Meteorologist Chris Suchan tracking the latest. Hey, Chris.
Well, Darian, good evening to you. I just stepped outside of our station here moments ago. We have a little glazing on our vehicles out in the parking lot here. So from here on out, you'll be careful if you're out on your deck or your sidewalk letting the dog out here. Understand it could be a little slippery. And those bridges and overpasses, too, will be the first to go, the flyovers that we have. You can see the trend here. We had this little patch of some mist move through. And if you look closely here in those last few frames here of this loop, watch right in here, you're starting to see just maybe a little bit more development. So we're sort of entering the door, if you will, to what will be round two that'll really blossom on radar through the rest of this evening into the overnight forecast here. And with that in mind, we have an array of warnings to pass along to the Hill Country. Many of you have already seen these warnings, but just in case you've missed them through the day, we have the winter storm warning, and this is being reissued by the Houston National Weather Service office. Look at that, almost to the Gulf Coast. Hill Country ice storm warning is in effect. That's where there's potential to get a quarter inch or more of ice for a good chunk of the Hill Country. That increases the risk of power outages and ice damage with the caking of ice on trees and power lines. Then it's a winter storm warning, which remains in Bexar County, winter weather advisory down to the south here. All right, this is what we have right now temperature-wise. It is below freezing, and not just 31, 32. It is the mid to the upper 20s. This is incredibly efficient at ice accretion. Any mist that falls or any rain, it is very efficient in terms of glazing. And so that is really a bit of a concern as we introduce some moisture this evening over this here with those temperatures. And as we show you another temperature here with the map, let's go into our wider view. And what you'll see here is that we have temperatures that are below freezing for most of the area. And looks like right now I'm actually having a little bit of a, there we go. There you can see the temperatures from down south where it's still above freezing here. But you too will be going below freezing in time. And then out to Del Rio, it's 28, while Eagle Pass is 34. So those are the temperatures right now as we support all this moisture moving in. And as we turn our attention here to the radar coverage here. Well, Darren, I'll tell you what, let's see if we can maybe get some reports in the field. Having some issues here with the old weather computer. Well, I'll be back here in just a moment, but let's send it back to you, get coverage from the area right now in those current conditions.
All right, sounds good, Chris. A live look right now of TransGuide cameras showing a bit of moisture on area roadways. TxDOT crews are out pre-treating major roadways and highways to keep ice from building up later tonight and into the morning. News 4 San Antonio's Phil Sterling continues our team coverage right now. He's live from the city's northwest side. Hey, Phil.
Hey Darren, so we saw a little bit of freezing mist earlier in the day in North San Antonio. Now we've driven just about 10 minutes up towards Bernie. We're on I-10 near Bernie Stage Road. Take a look behind me though. You can still see signs saying that there are TxDOT crews on the road adding brine on our drive up here. I've seen a few of those crews coming and going. They show up in about 30-minute intervals. I spoke with the TxDOT official that said that they're adding pre-treatment to roads all the way up or throughout the San Antonio district, which goes from Kerrville all the way down to Uvalde. Now that I'm here near the I-10 and the freezing mist has disappeared, what I'm really dealing with is wind chill. It's just the temperatures have dropped since the sun has dropped as well. I spoke to one man who told me that he just closed his business altogether because people weren't coming in to buy his smoothies. And yeah, I mean, the more we learn out here, we'll let you know.
All right, thanks a lot, Phil. From Phil, let's continue our team coverage now. The city of San Antonio anticipating several cold weather services for the duration of the winter storm. 6 resilience hubs are open across the city with community centers, senior centers, and libraries also being used as warming centers. The city says pets will also be allowed in those sites. We have a full list of those warming centers on our website, news4sa.com. Several school districts across San Antonio, the Hill Country, and South Texas have already announced plans to close Monday. That includes Comfort, Poth, Eagle Pass, Harlandale, South San Antonio, North Side, Northeast, San Antonio, Judson, and Edgewood ISD. All already announcing that they will be closed on Monday. We will continue to follow this for you and give you a full list on news4sa.com. We are getting in photos of the winter weather. This is from Hunt, where western Kerr County. You can see the ice starting to tug at the trees there in the background with a 1/4 inch of ice, that being enough to cause the tree limbs to break and power lines sag. And here's another photo, ice weighing down trees. Linda sent us this photo. She didn't say where she took it, but she says the branches on her oak trees there are starting to bend down and touch the ground. We want to see your experiences with this winter blast. To share your photos and videos with us, just scan the QR code you see right there. What you share could end up on one of our newscasts to help others see the impact of the storm everyone's experiencing. Other areas of the state also preparing for the storm as it passes through. People in Arlington made some last-minute trips to the grocery store to prepare for possible power outages, hazardous conditions, and frigid temperatures. Shelves there, well, they're all cleaned out of bread, water, and firewood. In the Houston area, preps are underway for freezing rain and possibly snow in other parts of South Texas. TxDOT has been out treating the roads with salt and brine. While concerns are risen, it will wash away in the expected rain. Officials say the treatment will continue until the conclusion of the storm. We have team coverage across the state and country on the bitter blast. Corbin Voges joins us from Texas Panhandle area with Amarillo and how it's looking there.
Chief Meteorologist Corbin Voges here in Amarillo, Texas, currently dealing with some moderate sleet snow mix. Expecting this to transition to fully snow later this afternoon, and this will continue overnight tonight until probably sunrise tomorrow morning. That's going to be coupled with extremely dangerous wind chills between 10 and 20 degrees below zero. That could allow for frostbite to set in as little as 30 minutes.
From the National Weather Desk, I'm Grant Palmer. We are in Oklahoma City right now where the wind is whipping and the snow is still falling. We are currently at the OG&E Coliseum where there's actually still a show going on tonight. The PRCA Rodeo is going on tonight at 7:30. Despite the snow coming down, despite the cold conditions, despite not favorable conditions on the road, the show is still going on tonight as the snow continues to fall and as it continues to accumulate on the roads, in the grass, in people's houses, everywhere in the Oklahoma City metro. That is the latest from Oklahoma City. I'm Grant Palmer.
The snow is coming down and the roads are getting slicker by the second. We are here in Clarksville, Tennessee. We're at one of these intersections. We do have an accident that has shut down the intersection for now. That is because Clarksville Fire Rescue says that these two vehicles were speeding when one of them hit another and then caused them to run into this power pole. Now that has closed again down this street for quite some time, but it is a story that has been told over and over again. Make sure you guys are taking it slow on these roads. That is kind of what we are seeing throughout the Nashville area and right here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Reporting in Clarksville, I'm Madeline Nolan.
All right, thanks a lot, Madeline. Let's head back over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Suchan tracking the storm. Chris?
Well, Darian, the first thing I want to really explore here with everyone and have some understanding is the bridges, the overpasses, and the flyovers. They're the most vulnerable right now. Roadways may just be wet for a time because we've been so very warm. Ground temperatures are actually pretty high. The Arctic air is trying to cool them, and it will. But when you have airflow over and underneath our bridges and our overpasses and flyovers, you're able to cool them much more efficiently. They'll drop to the freezing mark faster than, say, the roadway leading up to that bridge or overpass. So for the next couple of hours, that's where you really have, if you have to be out, you have to pay extra attention to those elevated road surfaces. And that goes also for decks and sidewalks here. But I just want to point that little bit of science out and some of the hazards that we do have here for tonight with that in mind. Now, we take a look here at the road conditions here through this evening. They will deteriorate as we head through the evening in the overnight forecast, as we will watch the mist and the freezing rain and the ice and the sleet continue to kind of build in here. And let's see here if we are, looks like we're still stuck here. It's not getting where we need to go here. So listen, I'm just going to tell you right now, through this evening, the patches of mist will gradually expand this evening with also some freezing rain, and eventually sleet will be in the mix as well. Roads will get caked with ice and sleet later this evening through the night. And so we're going to see the combination of ice accumulation about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 inch. That's the winter storm warning. Roads will be extremely hazardous to be on later this evening as every hour goes by through tonight. And then right up to about 7 o'clock in the morning, I still think it's really dangerous to be out. As the sun comes out, it'll really start to work on those roadways, and they will be drying out, they'll be melting, they'll be much better in the afternoon. Late morning, afternoon tomorrow, you should notice a dramatic change here. So my best advice is to just sort of hunker down here for tonight, have a good movie on, the fireplace going, some cold weather food, and just stay safe. And if you have to be out, make sure you have a safety kit in your car or your truck here. Protein bars, bottles of water, blankets, gloves, iPhone charger, just in case you do have a breakdown or a spin out if you're out tonight here and you're left stranded. At least you have a source of warmth and food to kind of help you out in the conditions, because the wind chill will also be in the single digits in the teens here. And if you are going to be out driving, please do not use cruise control. That's a big time hazard. And slow down, increase your stopping distance here, especially as you approach those bridges and overpasses. But we're going to have coverage here for you continuously at News 4. And we're going to work on our weather computer and get that up and running for you here. There you can see our various platforms where we're just pushing out a ton of information. Meteorologist Joe DiCarlo is up into the hill country. We have our News 4 reporters out, keeping an eye on those conditions for you. And we will continuously, not only this evening, but through tonight. I plan on being here and sleeping here at work tonight at about 5, 6 in the morning as Jeanette comes in, and we get you covered first thing in the morning here. But it is all hands on deck with this winter storm here in News 4. We are just now on the edge of getting into round 2. Be safe. Have a wonderful evening.